Hello and welcome to this week's episode of
The Duskmourn Chronicles.
Can I just say, that's bullshit, because you guys with your Duskmourn Chronicles, I had a great name for this thing. Godzilla comes to Braxia and kicks the sun in the dick. Totally overruled. Total bullshit.
That was a suggestion.
I mean, you guys tell us what you think. Did we miss a trick? Is that what we should have called the show? Well, there we go. Right, so let's roll some dice and see what happens as we get our review from what happens last week. And that's number 5, which halved is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See you again, Scott.
Are we doing favourite memes or recap?
No, there's a recap of what happened last week.
Oh, yes,
the last week was a long one.
It was a long one.
Yes. Happy Christmas.
Last week we had debated what to do about the pursuing ship. We deduced that it was most likely a delegation from Drakenmoor, and our assumptions turned out to be correct, unfortunately, in more ways than one. But we'll come to that. We ummed and ahed about how we deal with this, but eventually we thought we'd look like we had scuppered, get them to draw alongside and see what happens next. We parlayed, we felt successfully at the time. We were talking terms, we were trying to find out more about a potential deal. I was getting very excited to have some vampire best friends for life. But
Best
betrayal.
friends for afterlife.
Yeah. Betrayal. We heard a thud, came back onto the deck, and all our crew are missing. And they attacked. So we attacked back, and might I say better. We have defeated everyone save for the captain, who goes by the name of Charles, with a Z. And I have offered graciously that we exchange ships for their life. I'm still personally, that's fine. I'm smarting at this betrayal.
Me too.
You don't want the ship back.
We want the...
You don't want the prince back.
We want the prince back, obviously.
Of course.
And you want to take my ship.
Yeah.
This would not be possible. But I will give you the prince, and I will instruct my crew to restore your vessel.
What has happened to our crew? Are they all gone?
They are currently being held aboard my vessel.
Oh, well then.
We want them too.
And
They have
why
come
is
back,
it not
obviously. There is cargo aboard our ship which cannot be moved. It must remain on our vessel, and it would be inappropriate to give it to you.
What is the cargo? Tell me the truth, Charles.
Do your thing. Do yours on the thing.
And slam! The zone of truth comes down around me. Everyone else might want to step out of the zone of truth.
I grabbed Gottfried by the collar.
I have to do the
Are you actually grabbing?
Oh, yeah. Gottfried.
Misty step. Sorry, mate. Not today. You are not ready.
You hear from behind the door. Oh, okay.
Charisma 14.
Yeah, maybe blow another second level slot, you bastard.
I will harness divine power again, give myself another. That spell spot slot. Let's try this again. Zone of truth!
Okay.
What, Captain Charles,
What is your favourite colour?
is the weight of an unloaded European... What, Captain Charles, is on that ship, apart from the crew, in your hold specifically?
The Duke's daughter.
Oh, leverage.
I
Says the
see.
voice from...
You're lifting in through the door.
Why have you carried the Duke's daughter on a mission ostensibly to capture a prince against potentially dangerous people? What is she doing here, Charles? Dusk Knight is talking.
incompetence of my master to say no to his children has allowed this creature to inveigle her way into my mission.
She's on a fucking gap year in your ship? Is that what... Sorry, I'm not...
She wanted to head up this mission for which she is, as you have rightly said, not qualified.
I see. So you...
So I am babysitting her whilst chasing you across the waves.
And how dear is the Duke's daughter to the Duke?
She is his spawn. He would move all of the worlds to save or protect her.
As I sort of file my nails and I put my feet up on the desk again, would it be fair to say that perhaps you're unqualified for this mission, also considering you're currently our captive?
I underestimated your abilities.
Walking just into the doorway, I'll just give her a little wink and say, yes, you did.
I will not do it again.
No,
What else do you have in your hold, Captain Charles, apart from the Duke's daughter? Treasures, things of value?
Mostly supplies for the ship and the crew, food from home. There is some ironwood there as well. But we were designed to follow.
And what was the real purpose of your mission?
My purpose was to retrieve the prince.
And what of us?
You are not part of the equation. Either you were to be negotiated with and to be sent on your merry way, or you were to be disposed of. Either way, the prince is too valuable to be left in the hands of whatever the hell you are.
What did you want to do with the prince?
To return him to Duskmourn. The Duke wants to look after the prince until he can understand what is happening in Howden Lee.
And can we trust what you said about Howden Lee before with Lord Pham?
None of that was a deception. There was no need.
Then why did you attack?
We did not attack. We simply boarded your vessel and took everyone prisoner. I was not sure which way the negotiations were going to go. So far, you have been present at the assassination of a royalty. You have managed to get an entire nation to hate you in the space of less than 48 hours.
That is pretty good.
So essentially, the original offer's still on the table?
I don't...
Yes, accompany me to Duskmourn and you will be guests of the Duke.
We cannot trust them. They have indicated very clearly that they cannot be trusted.
This was a classic negotiation. It's what I would have done.
Kidnapped... Well, I know that. That's precisely my point. If we can't trust her...
Godfrey almost died, Avery. He almost died.
Yeah.
But you have to tell the truth right now.
She does.
I'm telling you the exact truth. My parameters were to negotiate and see if I could get the prince onto my vessel and back to the master.
Do we have the prince back at this second in time? We don't.
No.
Let's
Get the prince back with us right now. Georgie goes to go get the prince whilst she's still being Zone of Truth.
You step onto my ship, you will be killed by my crew.
Well, then order them to bring the prince on board immediately.
If you have returned into the room, you're going to be thrown into a zone of truth.
I'm staying in the doorway out of his fucking reach, ready to pop another misty step.
Well, order your crew to send our crew and our prince back, and then maybe we can negotiate.
She walks to the doorway, looks at you, barks some orders to her crew, and you see that same fog bridge start to reform. And then your crew being pushed onto deck. They look roughed up, but none of them look dead or injured.
And
Benteen is amongst them, and then the prince is sort of staggering behind her.
Check his...
Georgie's going to run straight up to him and check him and see if he's okay. Like, are you okay? What's wrong?
There's a coffin down there.
Right.
It's huge.
I think it's got a girl in it.
He turns bright red and tries to look at the ceiling and the floor at the same time.
What did you do in front of the coffin?
Nothing!
Okay.
Nothing, he says, and he's, "You're not my mom!" And he storms off into the...
The closest you've got to one at the moment. There.
Captain Charles, what would happen to you if you did not return to Drakenmoor, neither with the boy nor with the Duke's daughter?
The Duke would dispatch more of his hunters. They would find evidence, hunt me down, and take me back to Drakenmoor.
And what would happen if you returned with the Duke's daughter, but empty-handed, with no prince?
I would have to explain why I did not have the prince in hand.
Mm-hmm. You could also explain, however, that you did still have his daughter on hand.
That is not a win or a loss. That is simply what is expected.
Yes, but you could have explained to him as well that it was only through the grace of these 4 people in front of you that you were allowed to return with his daughter. This is a gesture of goodwill. We have made enemies already with a nation once. I do not think, friends, that we should make enemies of another nation today.
And yet we are poised to make friends with, I admit, a treacherous folk, but ones who undoubtedly would be able to offer us assistance. You're not capable of such thought, are you, Doran? I am wasting my breath.
I think you are. And also, at this point, there's no deal we can make with him that we can trust.
Apart from we know that she's under a spell where she has to say the truth right now.
No, but I mean with the nation.
Oh,
with
the
the,
nation.
yeah.
Yeah,
We set foot in Drakenmoor, we're at their mercy. This would be unwise, I think.
You're not wrong.
As best I'll send my little spellbook spirit, this floating head thing, and I want to scrutinize her. I want to try and establish whether she's undead or not. Is she a vampire spawn? Is she something else? Is she...
She definitely is a spawn of some kind. She's not a true vampire because she's standing out in daylight.
Right, but she's a vampire spawn, basically. Okay. Frankly, I think your instincts in this instance are probably best followed. This is an abomination and should be destroyed.
She's still got a full crew of...
Well, we have our crew. We don't need
got
them.
captured. No, as in, like, they could still attack us.
So, we kill her here, now, and then
I think
we
this is a
put
plan.
a hole in the hull of their ship, and they all sink.
If we destroy the
And the
daughter...
Duke will know.
That's another nation against us.
We though.
Points to all the crows sitting on the top of her ship.
Well, like,
And she's
why
still
do
in
you
the zone
need
of
to
truth.
take
She's
the
not-
prince?
She's not lying. She's not lying.
Why don't you come with us? Why don't you all join us? We all work together. We get it done quicker.
That is what the Duke has proposed.
Well, then stay with us. We'll go on to where we go
The
next.
prince must be returned to Drakenmoor. It
you
is the
have-
only place we're able to save.
Do you have any way of communing with the Duke from sea?
Yes.
Would we be able to commune?
Let us speak to your manager.
This is not an advisable course of action.
We effectively have her daughter, his daughter, at our mercy. I will not put that in plainer terms.
Well, yeah.
I would not threaten the Duke.
Well, if he is listening through his nice crows, he knows already. No?
There is a difference in overhearing your enemy plot against you and having your enemy say it to your face. Certain insults can be ignored if they are overheard.
He hasn't dealt with me personally yet.
That is what I'm worried about.
Me too.
Look, the most important thing to me is that Alexander is safe.
Mm-hmm.
I know these folk seem pretty dodgy and that we just had a massive fight that we didn't need to have if you hadn't captured our whole crew.
Would you have handed over the prince in the end, or would you have decided perhaps it would be better to go and hand him over to the
We
assistants?
were having
We were
a
talking.
discussion.
We were ready to agree with you, you foolish woman.
There was no guarantee.
It's a move I would have done. I have no ill will towards them. They were being mathematical. They were ensuring the outcome that they thought was best.
Yes, well, frankly, despite all this, I think the prince would be raised in a better environment if he was with someone like his own people. Of course, we cannot go back to Howden Lee, but there are other options which I will not discuss in front of this creature
Of course.
or her crows.
It sounds like they're just invested as we are.
Yes, they want leverage over
Exactly. The
over
motivation
Brunei to squeeze more money out of them or whatever it is.
Improved trade deals.
Yes, they will
Opening
brainwash
up
the
of the
child.
border of the Drakenmoor. Don't forget, Drakenmoor is a closed nation. They have a difficult trading outside of the world. They
And,
are tolerated at most.
And the next time the country sees Alexander, maybe he is rather pale and has two little holes. You know, I don't want this.
What does your duke? Okay, he wants to keep Alexander safe. Is this the reason why, for trade, or because he doesn't trust this Lord Fam or whatever it's called?
Alexander is the last legitimate heir to the throne.
Yeah.
Lord Fam is not. And Lord Fam is not a friend of Drakenmoor.
Okay.
Lord Fam must be removed. But there must be a legitimate heir to take over the gap left behind.
Yes.
Alexander is that gap.
And imagine that gap, as she calls him, spends 10 years being indoctrinated by the Duke.
Educated.
Yeah, well, we may differ on the terms.
I agree with you. Your term is better. I think we cannot allow Alexander to go back with you. I think that we cannot go there either. I think it's a terrible path for him. I think we need to find a different way. There must be a better way.
Is Alexander present?
No.
No, good.
He's hiding his embarrassment from his mother.
Stepmom. Okay.
So I suggest the following. That you come with us, Captain. We will sail away. You will sail your ship. You will instruct your ship to sail in the other direction. After 24 hours, we will set you free. As insurance.
You don't really have a choice.
There's no response to make when there is no choice.
Good.
Well, the other choice is you say no, and you return. Well, you don't return.
You don't do it at all.
And
You
the
turn
Duke
on a-
loses his daughter.
You turn in a box.
Yeah. She dramatically sticks out her hands, needing to be tied.
Yeah, you will correct me on this if I am wrong, but if you kill a vampire spawn, it is merely incapacitated. And to actually destroy it, you need to put a hammer through a stake through the heart in a coffin. And so the killing her now will simply incapacitate her and render her no longer a threat. Is that not the case? We would be committing no murder.
Yeah. Yes, what he says is true. Unless you drive a stake through the heart, cut the head off, she will eventually reform.
There we go. So we have our insurance. So I think we set the ship off above table now. We send them off on the other direction. We head in our direction. We take the other one with us, and then after a while, Avery can have his way with her. Not
That way, yeah,
Not
different
that
way. Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
You look troubled, Georgie.
If there's somewhere safe for him to go, I feel like he should go there, but if you don't think it's safe enough.
He could not possibly be safe in the realm of the vampires.
And yet you were so easily going to give him away and throw him overboard.
I have reconsidered based on this extraordinary act of treachery, which is not only duplicitous but also rather stupid.
It was funny.
So we're keeping this captain with us.
For a period of time as insurance, and then if they keep to their end of the bargain, then we set her free.
Why don't we just take one of her lifeboats? It seems a bit unnecessarily spiteful. She's suffered enough at our hand. You know, the humiliation of...
You mean set her free on the ocean?
Yeah.
Sure, we will set her free, Avery. I agree.
Sure.
He says, fingering his symbol of Halvoth.
His hatred of the undead, you see.
Yeah.
He's a bit zealous.
Yes, but in this instance, he is right. She is a liability they cannot afford.
He's zealous. He's callous.
Okay, make it so.
Bentine looks at you. All right. Back into the storm.
Yep.
Okay, your ship plunges into the storm once more. You are rocked and thrown about. And the storm... Oh, God. It gets worse.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
The winds are now pulling in every direction. And one of you needs to roll a d20 strength save for the ship. The ship has a +7, but your DC is 25.
Oh, shit.
You're rolling for the ship then.
And we burned all our
Can I rate?
inspiration.
No.
Angry
You
ship.
stupid ship! Just be better!
To get an
A
18,
strength
right?
save.
So you need to roll an 18, is that right?
Yeah. I'm not. Am I using my
No,
strength save
just-
as
no,
well?
no.
Just
No, that
Just
that's
this.
yeah.
Oh dear, dear,
that was always a Guinness.
dear, oh dear.
it was. They've got +7 though.
We've run out
But
of
so that is-
inspiration. haven't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was an 80.
Burned through all of that, didn't you?
Yeah, we
You were
did.
very excited. We were just
Terrific,
excited.
terrific crack. Oh, he's gone forever. As the mast is ripped from its brace holdings and sailors are sent flying in all different directions. Unfortunately, your ship, the Granica, so here she is here, has just taken 170 damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
She only has 300 hit points.
Oh my god.
170 damage. You are now deep in the middle of this hurricane, and your crew, or one of you, is going to have to try and navigate your way through. Now, the crew have a +6, as you know. But if any of you have navigators' tools or ship operations, and you think you have a better, you can take the helm. Bentine at this point doesn't care.
survival?
Yes,
And can you do guidance on yourself as well?
I guess I can.
it's a skill check, so you can.
So I have a +4, so it could be a +8, or it could be a +5 versus a +6. So I think actually the odds are rather in my favor, right? He says confidently.
Yeah.
Numbers. So plus.
on random number generators.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to roll it behind here so guy doesn't know what it is.
Oh, it's really good. It's genuinely really good.
25. See?
17.
17 and a 4.
I trust you. Okay, 25. That gets you. You are now a day away from where you were. Once again, you have no idea where you are now. Are you setting Captain Charles free?
From her mortal body, yes.
I don't agree with that.
Let's set her free outside of the
She
hurricane.
nearly killed
Yeah.
me. She became this close to killing me.
Yeah,
She
because
cannot
she's
be trusted.
stupid.
Well, if a rat was in your building,
She stopped.
well, she had no choice. This is the only way you can stop a creature like
But if
this.
we
A set of stairs comes close to killing you every single day. Would you hold them ransom?
I have fireballed a few flights of stairs.
if we actually let her alive, then we have a much better chance of having a better relationship with Drakenmore in the future. Like,
All right, that's true. That is true.
let's
get her out of
stop
the hurricane, at
burning
least.
all of our bridges.
True. That's true. I cannot deny this.
We took a bold step by not capturing the Duke's daughter.
Yeah.
But maybe Captain Charles will remember us if we don't set her free in a hurricane.
And if she's not, for
Exactly.
failing her mission.
Let's set her off at a reasonable, safe point that we can find as we are out of this hurricane.
I'm going to take a lock of her hair.
All right.
I will be watching you.
I wonder, she says, with your surname, if perhaps somewhere in your lineage you do not have an ancestor who fled from Dracu.
Fled is definitely one possibility. The other possibility is found a better place to live.
Oh, perhaps, she says. Okay, so the weather, does it change? We are looking for a 5 or a 6. Nope, it's still thunder and lightning. Your ship is caught in this terrific gale. We are going to need another strength saving throw, please, for the ship, +7.
Avery?
19.
Creaking, cracking, and breaking once again.
Can we help the bosun do some emergency repair?
I've got mending.
It's mending will restore 1d4.
Well, it might be the D4 we need.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
I mean, you know what I mean?
It's 4.
We go. All right, so instead of 76 hull damage, you take 72 hull damage.
I think that's meaningful.
I think we need to think about what happens if.
Count your pennies.
Can we start to fashion a raft guy? From
There
some
are
of these-
multiple rowboats.
Oh, there are rowboats.
There are rowboats, but you would not want to be a rowboat in this typhoon.
Indeed.
Okay, 242. At 250, you are technically starting to sink, but the ship will still remain afloat. At 275, your ship is actually sinking and will not remain afloat for much longer. The day drags on. This is now day 2 of being in the storm. So you don't get long rests, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little turbulent.
Yes. Even the hammocks are swinging from side to side, and water pours in, and every time a wave hits the ship, there is a cracking that ripples across the decks.
A short rest at least between battles?
Yeah, you can have a short rest.
okay.
Very good.
A short rest.
Yeah. My bardic dice back.
Oh, thank goodness.
Arcane recovery, motherfuckers.
There is a moment where the storm seems to be getting stronger, and then just as suddenly it starts to rain, and it's a heavy rain, but the wind has died down and the waves are no longer towering above you, but now just thrashing around you. You have weathered the storm.
Oh,
But everything is broken and tattered. Your ship is barely able to move.
Right.
From under some crate, Saul, absolutely drenched, goes, "What the fuck? I quit, man."
Yeah.
again, so...
Yeah. All right,
Captain Benteen, do you have any idea where we are and how long it will take to repair the ship?
I have no idea where we are, and I have no idea how long it's going to take to repair the ship. It will take me some time to assess everything, I'm afraid.
Avery, you go here and start casting mending, and don't stop until you get to there.
Okay. All right.
I imagine that takes a while.
Well, because we're not in combat, each round is now a minute long, and you're doing 1d4 a minute. So, yeah. But you can't do it continuously.
10d4. Oh.
No, 1d4 a minute. Because combat round's not 6 seconds. Now it's a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Because mending is actually for a 5-foot or smaller object. 5
I
foot
see.
cube.
I see.
The ship's so big, it's just...
Yeah.
It's ineffective.
Gotcha. Okay, then.
All right, then. So we got through this storm. We've got a complete wreck of his ship.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to let Charles go.
Yes, that's what we promised to do.
Good.
So we should do that.
The way you word that every time makes me very nervous.
I'm not the one wanting to kill her.
That's what I mean. The way he says, let her go.
Yeah.
No, I am being more congenial. I understand that sometimes I'm speaking too much in black, too much in white. I think there can be a middle way. I'm exploring this.
Look,
I am pleasantly surprised. No, I should put that a different way. Thank you, Dory.
Gottfried, I have some books for you.
You have some books for me?
Yes, before I left Howdenley, I asked the Dusk Warden to collect the remainder of the books from the Undercroft. When you return, maybe we can look at them together.
I am speechless. Thank you. Godfrey is literally stunned and just sits down.
Avery, what are you doing?
I will be talking with the bosun and just seeing where best, if at all, my mending will help.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. The bosun says, yeah, all right, sir, if you wouldn't mind just having a look at the base of the mast that's in the lower hull. It connects with the keel. Familiar with that location, sir? Very good, sir. I'll send everybody else to t'other sides to effect best repairs as I can. Yeah, we're in a pretty bad state, so do what you can.
Fucking cab driver drove me here.
So you go down into the keel and into the hold, down to the keel where it joins with the main mast. And there is well, it looks like Alphonse is there, busy looking at the mast. But you can see through him.
Alphonse, I don't recall summoning you.
He looks at you and he simply says, "They found you." And then he disappears.
You're very clammy for a minute. Run up topside and just scan the horizon to see.
Nothing?
I'll take a few calming breaths, white knuckles on the rails, just trying to... I've burned through too much. I've used the ball too much today. I'm just seeing things, Avery.
Do we see this state?
Well, you hear him saying that.
What is the matter?
It's nothing, just...
No, I know you. What is the matter?
I haven't had a need to commune with the spirits so intensely.
Yes, of course.
I think perhaps today I might have pushed the limits. I saw Alphonse as though he was here.
You need some proper rest, and maybe one of our little hypnotic sessions to bring you down.
He also said that they've found me.
Oh, by they, I presume it's this Teague person.
I wish.
Oh God, who now?
Where do you think you pulled me from?
Oh.
Yeah, oh.
Oh God. Oh, that is...
God might not be the right word.
Indeed.
Fuck would be more appropriate.
Yeah, it's definitely time for a fuck. I mean, it's not time for a fuck, but yes.
That's a good idea. I've got a master fix first.
Yeah, that is good for you. Yeah, you do that. Scheiße.
I'm going back down, but just if you can keep an eye out.
Of course, yeah. I will have both the book and Saul scan the horizon.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that.
What is Georgina doing?
I want to go talk to Captain Charles.
Before she is set free.
Yeah.
No.
What can I do for you, skeptical lady?
You wanted to protect the prince, right?
Yes, that is the mandate of my mission.
So if anything does happen to us, can I rely on the fact that you will come and protect him?
If you are asking me, am I going to continue to follow your movements and try to get the prince to my master once you have set me free, the answer is yes.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with you being at the ready. But I think you need to let us stay in charge.
The question that I would put to you. My little birds watched as you fled into the sewers or the underbelly of Howdenlee and then scampered like scared little mice onto the ship. And then we watched as you went into Quethlin, only to come running out scared once again. Are you really the best people to look after the prince?
Are you?
I have a duke who is willing to give him sanctuary. Doesn't matter how powerful Lord Fam is, he will not invade Dragonmoor.
But what life will he have if he's with you? And your lord?
Provided that he toes the family line, he will live in a life of opulent splendor, surrounded by all of the food he could possibly desire. He will have friends brought in that will worship him as a god.
I think he doesn't need that. I think that'll go to his head and he'll become to a right knobhead, and he's already on the brink. So, look, I'm glad you want to look after him. I really am. But I think we've got a better plan. Or we will find a better plan. I just want to know you're there as a backup.
So what you are saying is I am to wait until you have failed? And then, if the prince is still alive, I come swooping in to save him?
I mean, that is pretty much what I'm saying, yeah.
So then wouldn't it be better for me to save him before you are dead?
I see where you're coming from. And you are on the right sort of lines, but potentially he will have a much better life if we succeed.
The life of a child on the run, always afraid of looking behind him for fear of seeing the assassins that hunted his family to death, chasing him.
Yes.
And you believe the bloodthirsty individuals that you travel with who openly debated simply slaughtering me and my crew?
They
for
were
setting
really
a better standard?
annoyed at thinking that you basically already killed. We thought you'd killed our crew. We thought you'd killed the prince. Like, it didn't come across well. They were really angry. And they know more about where you come from. I don't really know much about it. I've never been there. I can't say for sure what it's like. But just be there at the ready. And look, if I can persuade them otherwise, that you should be the bonds to look after him, then good times. But at the moment, they're not on board with that. But I don't want you not to be nearby. I know it sounds a bit weird, but that's the best we can do right now.
You care for this prince?
Of course I do. He's just a poor kid. He had both of his parents murdered in front of him.
He was lucky. At least he knows what happened to his parents. I do not. But that is not for today. If you truly want me to be as close as possible to being able to intercede, then simply take the ring off of my finger. It will allow me to know roughly where you are, and should you require my assistance, all you need to do is hold the ring and say my name.
Georgie's going to look into her eyes, really try and suss her out.
Give me an insight check.
15.
She's telling mostly the truth.
Okay. I think that's the best we can come to for the moment.
She holds out her finger.
Georgie takes the ring.
All right.
She's going to put it in her pocket, hidden away so other people can't see it.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Interesting.
How are you setting Captain Charles free?
We will load up in a small lifeboat
Right.
enough rations for, let's say, a week.
Do you want to ask what kind of rations
Yeah.
she prefers?
I am not her chef, Avery. She will eat or she will die.
A live pig.
She can fish.
All right. And then you set her adrift.
Set her adrift.
Okay. Ah, good news. Captain Bentin has worked out roughly where you are.
Oh, fantastic.
It's not good.
Fantastic.
The winds for the past 2 days have apparently been blowing in a very westerly direction. We are now about 50 nautical miles off of the coast of the Assis's kingdom. The Assis's kingdom is the kingdom of the Serpent Queen and her cold-blooded Yuan Ti servants.
Okay.
The Wraith are illegal to trade with because they believe they're the most superior species on the planet and will kill anyone that comes across them. The vampires are tolerated because they're the nice guys in comparison to the other bad guys who are the Assises.
Oh, crap.
If you have warm blood, you are considered dinner and will be eaten by an Assises commoner before you even set foot into their desert realm, which is rumored not to have any surface water at all. Hence why the elves were quite happy for the mountain range to act as a natural border that they have never once tried to cross.
Your world's mean.
It's just because you went to the mean side. You should go to the
Yeah.
Sajeti side,
Indeed.
where there are more slaves than residents.
Good Lord. Well, this doesn't sound a very good place to end up. Captain, is there a way to circumvent this land mass?
Yes, we simply head in a different direction.
Let's do that.
Genius.
These fucking sailors, man, they got this shit worked out.
Ration-wise,
Got it worked out.
I'm sorry.
It's amazing.
Ration-wise, we've got at least 3 days left of salvage supplies. We can get to southern Ethane Democracy territory. That would be the closest. Or our other bet, try and get to the Kabalia, straight across the open ocean.
Yeah.
Or we can head southeast to the dwarves. But we will not make Brunei with only 3 days of supplies. Unless we halve rations, in which case crew quality drops by half. And then we will get 6 days. We can get almost anywhere.
There are 2 suggestions. One is we try and message the Highmark directly and offer an apology and an explanation.
Yes, I'd be very up for that, yeah.
Second option is to, I would say, to sail towards the Dwarven Kingdoms where we have friends there, I would assume, being from that area.
Yeah.
And the third is to go to the Kabalia, which I know you want to do, Avery.
my problem with that.
Oh God, they hate you as well or something.
No. They love me down there. Isn't the Highmark the one that gave the prince the cube? Told him
No,
that was
Lord
that was
Dis.
okay,
That was Lord Dis.
but Lord Dis might have spun something.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah, but we want to circumvent him and go directly to the
Highmark.
Primarch.
Primarch.
Yes, the Highmark.
Okay.
And try and
Should we try that first of all?
You're betting that an elf will believe us over their own.
we have to try.
We need to start telling people that there's an imposter in Howdenley. That's what we need to start getting the news out there.
And possibly an agent of that imposter in the Elven Kingdom,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
They think they're all so clever and long-lived. They need to be able to see what's really going on.
Indeed.
A bit of honesty is called for.
Yes. Someone needs to know the
How
truth.
are you going to communicate
That is
with
Yeah,
the
that's
high mark that you have not
Sending
met?
spell, but-
I know. A sending spell can still reach them,
Okay.
right?
So you need to know
Let's
what they
look it
look like.
Let's do some
Let's see.
looking up
Let's see.
in the player's handbook.
So Benteen is to set course to the northeast, and try and get closer to the Athene democracy.
Well, we don't need to do that, do we?
You send a short message to a creature with which you are familiar.
Yes, you have neither met nor spoken to the High Mark.
If we made it to the dwarves, we could stock up and continue on if we have the money for it.
I think the crew have been through a lot. They need to be well looked after.
I think the dwarves are definitely our best bet at this point.
So southeast then.
Southeast. Let's do it.
All right.
As we are traveling, maybe I can at least send a message to the Duskwarden.
Mm-hmm.
But before I do that, I will just go speak to Georgie quickly. Can I? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like she's running away from
Yeah, she's there.
slamming doors.
No, I just saw, I didn't see you talk with Charles, but I saw that you were kind of like uncomfortable with the way we were talking about Charles's future and fate.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to approach you and say, Georgie, I saw the way you looked when we were discussing the fate of Charles. A creature like that it's difficult for me to get my head around setting one such as she free, especially after what she did to us. So maybe my words were harsh, but I've made a commitment to try and better myself and not see everything so black and white. If this situation troubles you, please let me know, and please tell me if I'm being wrong. Even in the moment, I will listen, George. I need you.
Yeah, I told everyone how I felt.
Hmm.
Like, I just didn't feel like we needed to kill her necessarily. I know you've got this whole thing against undead and whatever, but she was in a zone of truth. She was telling us, truthfully, that Lord, what's his face, the one that she likes, wants to help the prince. And yeah, okay, maybe there's not much light there, and that's not great. But like, the most important thing is that he's alive, and these people are against Lord Fam. And that is a potential ally. Okay, you don't have to love everybody, but potential allies are useful.
I think in the end, the right decision was made. She's set free, she's alive, she has a chance to get to safety, and the Duke knows that his daughter is safely on her way back to him. So I think in the end it worked out.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. That's the most important thing to me right now, is that we look after Alexander and we do our best by him.
Great.
Day 1 of your southerly sail. Sunny skies. All is well.
At some point,
Yes.
I would like to find the prince.
Yes.
Here we go.
Check in on him, but also, is he still wearing my amulet?
No, he's not.
Oh, shit.
Was it important? I know you gave it to me, but when I was taken into the tower, Lord Saladar had me bathed thoroughly. It had been quite some time, if you recall. And during it, they took my clothing away to get it all sort of, well, I think he said burned. But I did ask that the amulet was kept aside because it was important to you. Only they hadn't given it back to me by the time that Georgina arrived. And, well, she was quite urgent about us leaving. And then, once I am king again, I will buy you as many necklaces as you like. This is my solemn oath to you, and I swear it upon my bended knee and crown.
Let's just say I'm not angry. I'm a little disappointed.
My father used to say that.
I bet he did. You have that look about you. You know, the disappointing kind. But I am not your father, and I forgive you. However, this does complicate things.
Fine. And he pulls this little ring off. Take that then.
I mean, thank you. I certainly take it. It doesn't necessarily help our situation.
Why? It's a gift from the elves.
Oh, wait a minute.
I drop it very quickly.
Ting, 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 ting.
I'm going to get Godfrey to have a look at that in a second. But how are your fencing lessons going? Did you talk to the elves about your fencing lessons?
I did. And they gave me a lot of books to read and said that I couldn't start fencing for the next 75 years until I was ready.
Those are the elves. They have no immediacy. They don't understand the... I'm not great at the mathematics, but you would be a bit past your prime if you started.
I did think a bit odd.
Yeah. Never mind. We've got some time now. So, unless you've got any problems, we can start again.
Will I still disappoint you?
Not unless you try very, very hard to be very good at sword fighting.
So if I don't try very, very hard...
Then I'll be disappointed, yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they took my sword as well.
I can collect knives like that. We're on board a ship. Everyone here carries something.
Yes. I heard the cook saying that he's carrying some kind of disease. A vulnerable disease?
Did you hear if perhaps the captain is carrying any disease?
No.
Okay, cool. Just checking. For a friend.
Also, you know a lot about women, right?
Oh, God.
I'm not sure that would be the best. How old are you again?
13.
Ask your question, but...
So, I was betrothed to marry the daughter of the Queen of the North, only I think I've decided that I have found my new queen.
Okay. I have an inkling of where this is going.
Did you see her as well?
I did not.
I don't think I've ever seen such white skin before.
Oh,
No.
shit, bats.
And, did she say anything to you?
No, she was asleep and I didn't want to wake her up.
No. How can you... 13-year-olds are besotted by ladies that don't even talk to.
You're like bleeding over there a little bit, buddy.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. Realistically, where do you see that going?
Well, I will become the King of Brunei, and she is obviously someone very important.
Yes, she is.
Well, then it's a perfect match.
It will open up certain trade routes, although maybe don't mention it to Doran, eh? I don't think he'd understand.
Oh, I see.
He doesn't like pale people.
No, I understand. I had a brother. He was sent away for that.
She doesn't like Irish people.
It's racist.
I'm Irish.
Oh, really?
Not going to produce an heir.
Ah, I see. I'm going to stop talking to you before I say anything. I'm going to get Godfrey to look at the ring, and then maybe this afternoon we try a bit of fighting.
Right. And maybe you can teach me how to woo her.
Sure. Do we have any live goats on the ship?
And on that note, the ship continues to sail in the afternoon.
Can I identify this goddamn ring that this...
Oh, yes. The ring.
child has given you?
The ring itself looks to be very, very ornately carved. It's definitely an elvish ring. Probably worth somewhere in the region of about $1,000. It is beautifully inlaid with these very remarkable little diamonds. There is definitely a magic spell woven into the ring itself. You suspect that a locate object would be able to detect this from anywhere in the multiverse. Yeah.
Can I...
Do I have to throw it overboard?
I'm afraid I think you do, yeah. I don't want to either, but...
My dove, my love, I go to the captain. Do you have any, I don't know how one signals to when on the ship. Do you have any birds, messenger birds aboard the ship?
Where do you want to send a message to?
No, I want to attach a ring to a bird and send it in any old direction.
Well, once we are closer to land, then there are plenty of seagulls.
I think we drop it in the water. Done.
Sure, we can do it. Yeah, but it's more fun to send them on a merry level.
It is more fun.
I tell you what,
Imaginary.
compromise. Saul?
Don't even fucking ask.
But I have a little job. I think you will like it. Involves a shiny thing.
Do you know what they do? What seagulls fucking do? Let me ask you, why don't you go sailing towards one of those goddamn birds? You know how fucking big that is in comparison to myself? Do you? Huh? Huh? Saul, fly here. Saul, do this. Saul, go get eaten by a seagull.
You are supposed to obey my instructions. That's how the fucking spell works.
Sure, I'll take your shiny ring. I'll go get eaten by a seagull. I'm the one who gets to sleep at night with dreams of beak.
I know. It's a shit gig that you have, but you know.
Be it familiar, they said. See the fucking world. Fuck. He grabs the ring and just flies off swearing like a little trooper.
Oh, fantastic. So a day has
passed.
Okay.
Second day. You are now a day and a half away from making the Dwarvish coast.
Like the thought of the Elvish army just desperately chasing a seagull.
Oh, the other thing I want to do is at some point,
Yes.
maybe on the second day,
Yep.
to approach Georgina. Fräulein Georgina, we are very different people. Obviously, we don't always see eye to eye. I am all about the words and so on. So perhaps you will take me seriously when I say that you saved my life in the Shadowfell, and I give you my word that I will do everything in my power to pay that debt. That's all, really. And he uncomfortably.
Oh, no. Before you walk away, you want to try and help repay that debt?
When I can, I will do my utmost to save your life in the same way that you saved mine.
I'd like to know a bit more about you. What's this book and why has it got a face on it?
Oh, this is wonderful, and you're going to regret that.
Oh, no!
So you get a long lecture about a lost art called the Order of Scribes, whereby the words on a page can be given self-consciousness and they actually become a kind of mind. So the book itself is actually awake and has thoughts of its own. And when I say he drones on about this, man, you have no idea. You get the full... Yeah, get the full, in fact, at one point he brings out a book with his own name written on it. His book that he's written, Die Welt als Wille und Vorstellung, and then he starts reading from it, and it sounds like complete bullshit.
Wow.
But you would probably literally have to come to violence to get him to stop.
Okay, yeah, no, like, okay, fine. I wish I'd never asked. I wish it was a book that didn't exist. Do you know about a book that doesn't exist?
Well, I'm going to roll a deception check.
Mm-hmm. Give me an insight check. Georgina?
Perception. Insight. Apologies.
I've rolled shit, so...
Oh,
Beat a
7 plus nothing. I'm pretty sure.
You're both staring at the ceiling. No, nothing. Okay, thank you. Bye.
How can one know about a book that doesn't exist? This doesn't make sense.
Oh, we haven't really had a chance to catch up, but when we went and did that, Shadow whatever face, what's his name? Yeah, we asked him lots of questions, and he said that he was looking for a book that doesn't exist.
What was the book called?
Probably something like that.
That's what it's now called.
I'm going to cast some kind of render intelligible gibberish spell, and I'm going to go not the crepuscularium.
Yeah, it sounded like that. It was.
Gottfried goes white. and just goes, "There's something I have to."
Okay, well, if you need to ask more, Doran probably remembers better than me. Oh, you look sick.
I might actually puke overboard. Yeah.
You're puking when it's nice calm sea?
Yeah.
Ooh,
The day drones on, and Captain is optimistic that by tomorrow lunchtime, you will have arrived at the one dwarvish port. And I don't have my map open, so you will arrive at that port.
Good.
And I will inform you as to the name of the port
In due course.
in due course.
Georgie would have liked to have made sure she'd learnt how to do some decent knots during this
Oh,
voyage.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, and would like to also teach the prince because she thinks he needs more practical skills. So knot tying seems like the best one on the ship.
All right. So, tying the knot. I have an idea for a betrothed, he says.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The next morning, there is no wind at all, and the ship is basically trying to tack her way as best she possibly can on whatever little currents that can be found, as a fog has set in. This doesn't look like an unnatural fog, it looks like a coastal fog. But in the distance, you can hear every 10 minutes this loud horn blasting out from a watchtower of dwarvish design. You are close to land.
Thank God.
And so by just after lunch, two massive dwarvish figures holding shields up literally just rise out of the ocean. And they are the port entry guardians, basically.
Wow. Impressive.
Gigantic green, they're made out of bronze. And inside you can see the very dwarvish city. Dwarvish cities look like Tetris has been played with boxes and that Art Deco is the style. Everything is
Love it.
neat, square, orderly, with just a touch of decoration here and there as needed. There is the dwarvish sector, and then you can see there is the other sector. And that's simply not so much a dwarvish hatred of the other species. It's more a case of, it's the only part of the bloody city that we decided that needed a ceiling higher than 6 foot. So it's taller. It's abnormally tall, but it's there.
Nice.
And yes, you make dock. Bentina's incredibly relieved. What are you doing?
Can we
I
disguise Alexander before we
Yes,
go
we
out
should do
and
that.
about?
And then I
please?
want a meal and a bed. A real bed.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being on land for a night. And I mean, we need to get supplies for the ship. I could also do with some personal supplies. I'd like to have something a bit more stabby and slashy.
Yeah.
If anyone else is in the mood for a bit of shopping,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
maybe.
All right, so you find an inn. You have a few options. The first one that you come across is called the Tall One. Then there's another one called Slightly Taller. And then there's a third one called Who Fucking Cares? As there's the humor of the dwarves. The one that looks the nicest is the taller one. Yeah.
Okay.
It appears to have been designed more for centaurs than anything else. There are centaur tribes on the dwarvish mainland, although they are persecuted and hunted by the dwarves themselves, except there are some tribes that are allowed to trade. And so the room is much, much bigger. Does smell vaguely of stable, but the taller one serves a good meal. It's hearty, it's fulfilling. The beer is served perfectly warmed. And, oh yes. You all get a long night's rest.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I am going to try and learn a wee bit of Scottish. Dwarven, I mean. Anyway, okay, so long rest. Great.
Yes.
Wonderful, fantastic.
That was.
Jesus, except for Avery.
Oh dear.
As you are sitting staring blankly into the room that has been procured for you, there is a whispering behind you.
Very quickly, as if I was ready for this inevitability, leap up and draw my sword and point it into...
You honestly think that is going to do anything to me, my dear boy? Says this very old-looking, very transparent woman. She's in her 90s, perhaps?
In honesty, I was hoping you might be someone else who might respond a bit better to a bit of violence and threats.
Oh, I have had my fair share of violence. That's true. Very, very true. You don't remember me, do you?
I'm afraid I've been inflicted with a spell of a bout of forgetfulness.
You're right. Well, you're dragging us, all of us. And I've been sent to tell you to stop.
You're representative of some forces who want my safe return, I take it?
Depends on your definition of safe, I guess.
Right.
Cut your head off and it'll all be over.
And as you've come to me with words rather than beheadings, I take it you yourself don't have the power to remove my head.
No, I don't. I am but a messenger sent here to give you a choice.
Well, I was a hair away from inviting you to fuck off out my bedroom. But let's hear this choice of yours just in case.
If you don't come back to where you belong, we'll take someone else.
You have someone in mind?
Let's just say that it's an heir for an heir.
I see.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be fucking off.
That you will.
She says, and she just sinks into the floor.
Okay. I'll sit on the end of the bed, just chin, thinking. Not sure whether I tell anyone or where we go from here. Boy, it's going to be a long night.
Indeed. And that is where we end this week's episode on a long night. Finally, some sort of safe shelter.
Oh, God.
Is it possible? Is it real?
No, because it's you.
What? Me? I have done nothing. Absolutely nothing. I did one little thing at the beginning, but that was my job. Anyway, it's all wonderful. So let's do favourite moment of the game. Number 9. I think that is Grace.
Ooh, I'm very much enjoying that the prince has a very inappropriate crush on a vampire heiress. I think it's really cute though, and it is inappropriate. Maybe it'll be lovely. Maybe we'll unite the nations. Maybe not.
How old is she?
Oh, she's probably really old, isn't
Like
she? Yeah.
740 years old. That's-
Yeah, there.
I don't know
She's
what's
too
going on
old
there.
for him. She's too old for him.
Mm.
But it's cute that he's got a crush. That's sweet. That made me giggle. Also, I love that Georgie has a secret deal with a vampire lady.
That is pretty cool.
that's very
That
cool.
was interesting.
That is a dangerous ass ring you got in your pocket.
Yeah, it is. Chaos.
So excited. Oh dear, and poor
Yeah.
old Godfrey backed into a corner about his book. And
You know.
avoiding the zone of truth.
Yeah.
It's complicated, but you know, it's all fine. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Well, there we are. There we are. And then suddenly Doran going, you know what, let's make deals with vampires. Let's keep them alive. It's
You know, the learning process.
embracing
is
the
going
grey.
It's going to have a
Embracing
curve.
the
Something's
grey.
gotta give, yeah.
Yeah.
What's important for Doran now, yeah?
Yeah.
Being real a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I did tell him 2 gods to fuck off. So he's got to figure that one out as well sometime.
There is that. There is that. And then, of course, Avery, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the shit, man?
Fuck.
Yes.
Spirits.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit interesting. Ramifications.
Consequences.
Yes.
Just constantly being chased by everyone.
Yes. Yes. Well, hand over the prince and the chase will stop straight away.
Yeah, but to whom?
Everybody wants this kid. Poor little bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's chat to the dwarves and see what the dwarves is like.
Yeah, they might have a better offer.
What the hell do we want that thing for? It cannot mine, it cannot carry a cart, it cannot bake bread. Can't use it for target practice, neither, it's too thin. Well, you take it back from where it came. Thank you very much. Anyway, right, some announcements, things that you should look out for. Let's go into clockwise.
Oh, shit, right. Yeah, I got a couple of books on Amazon called The Carrion Crows and The Hooded Crows.
What's it about?
It's dark and it's grim and it's grim dark and it's also dark and grim and that kind of stuff.
Fantasy?
Is it dark and
It is
grim?
fantasy, it is, yeah.
But it's a dark and grim fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Set in a world that none of you have ever heard of.
I read the book.
That's fair. That's fair, yeah.
That's fair. And
Yes, please check out No Small Roles, a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Actual play, lots of fun, and there's so much to listen to. Like, if you want to binge something, binge No Small Roles. You'll have a good time.
very true. All right, we will see you when we return next week. Till then, goodbye.